Hello, science friends! Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting out, welcome to a journey that's as much about discovery as it is about growing food. Today, let's talk about the dream of growing your own food, right here in Arizona, where the sun shines bright and the landscape is full of possibilities. Imagine stepping outside to pick fresh tomatoes and crisp lettuce from your own backyard. The taste of homegrown produce is unbeatable, and the satisfaction of nurturing it yourself is even better. Gardening connects us to the earth and teaches us about nature and science. It's a hands-on way to learn about life cycles, weather, and the magic of transformation. But in Arizona, we face a unique challenge: clay soil. It's dense, heavy, and can seem impossible to work with at first glance. If you've ever tried to dig here, you know it's like hitting a brick. The shovel bounces back, and you might wonder if anything can grow in such tough ground. Many people think nothing can grow in this tough ground and give up before they start. It's easy to feel discouraged when your first attempts don't go as planned. But this is just the beginning of a scientific adventure. Every challenge is an opportunity to learn, experiment, and discover new solutions. Understanding our soil is the first step to transforming it. By observing, testing, and asking questions, we unlock the secrets hidden beneath our feet. Think of your yard as a giant science experiment. Each season brings new variables, and every plant you grow adds to your knowledge. We'll become soil scientists, learning what clay needs to become a home for plants. We'll observe its texture, moisture, and how it changes with the weather. It's not about fighting the soil, but working with it. By understanding its strengths and weaknesses, we can help it support life. By adding the right ingredients and using simple techniques, we can change the structure of clay. Compost, mulch, and patience are our best tools. This process, called soil amendment, turns barren ground into a thriving garden. Over time, you'll see the soil become softer, richer, and full of life. Are you ready to get your hands dirty and unlock your Arizona yard's potential? The journey may be messy, but it's incredibly rewarding. Together, we'll explore the science behind soil transformation. We'll share tips, tricks, and stories from gardeners who've succeeded right where you are. We'll look at practical steps you can take. No need to be a pro gardener. Every small effort adds up, and every mistake is a lesson learned. All you need is curiosity and a willingness to learn. With an open mind, you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. We're going to turn that hard clay into a foundation for a beautiful, productive garden. Imagine rows of vegetables, flowers, and herbs thriving where nothing grew before. Let's consider the evidence and start this journey from hard clay to bountiful cultivation. The transformation is possible, and it starts with a single step. It's going to be great. You'll be amazed at what you and your soil can accomplish together. So let's dig in, embrace the science, and see what's possible in your Arizona garden. The adventure starts now, end scene. First, let's get to know our soil. Understanding the type of soil in your garden is the foundation for growing healthy plants, especially in a unique climate like Arizona's. Soil isn't just dirt. It's a living, breathing ecosystem that supports everything you grow. And when it comes to Arizona, clay soil is one of the most common types you'll encounter. Clay soil is made of the tiniest particles, smaller than sand or silt. These particles are so fine that you can't see them with the naked eye, and they feel almost silky when wet. Compared to sandy soil, which feels gritty, or silty soil, which feels smooth, clay is dense and heavy. These tiny particles pack tightly, leaving little space for air or water. That's why clay soil often feels dense and can be difficult to dig into, especially after a rain or when it dries out in the sun. Imagine a jar of powder versus a jar of marbles. Clay is the powder, with hardly any gaps. The marbles represent sandy soil, where water and air can move freely. In clay, the lack of gaps means water and air have a tough time getting through. You can test for clay by rolling moist soil into a ball. If it holds its shape and forms a ribbon, you've got clay. This simple test is a favorite among gardeners and can tell you a lot about your soil's makeup. Wet clay feels sticky. Dry clay gets rock hard and cracks. In Arizona's hot, dry climate, you'll often see clay soil split into deep cracks during the summer, then turn sticky and heavy after a monsoon rain. This texture is the key to its strengths and challenges. The way clay soil changes with moisture makes it both a blessing and a curse for gardeners. The good news? Clay holds water and nutrients well, great for dry Arizona. Plants can access moisture longer after a rain, and nutrients don't wash away as quickly as they do in sandy soils. This means with the right care, clay soil can support lush, thriving gardens. The bad news? It can hold too much water, leaving little room for air. After heavy rain or overwatering, clay soil can become waterlogged, suffocating plant roots and making it hard for them to breathe. Plant roots need oxygen, and waterlogged clay can suffocate them. This is why you might see plants wilt or struggle, even when the soil looks wet. When clay dries, it becomes hard and compacted, making it tough for roots to grow. Digging in dry clay can feel like trying to break through concrete, and young roots may have trouble spreading out. This cycle of wet and dry stresses plants. Roots are forced to adapt to extremes, which can weaken them and make them more vulnerable to disease and pests. Clay's density also makes it hard for beneficial soil organisms to thrive. Earthworms, microbes, and other helpers struggle to move through compacted clay, which means less natural aeration and fewer nutrients for your plants. But remember, clay soil is full of potential. It just needs a little help. With the right amendments and care, you can transform heavy clay into a rich, productive garden bed. Let's see how we can unlock that potential and turn your Arizona clay into the perfect home for your plants. End scene. Why is clay so tough for plants? If you've ever tried to dig in Arizona's clay-heavy soil, you know it can feel like you're working with bricks instead of earth. But what exactly makes clay such a challenge for gardeners and plants alike? It's all about water and air. Roots need both to survive and thrive. Healthy roots depend on a delicate balance, and when that's missing, plants struggle. In healthy soil, there's a perfect mix of air pockets and moisture, allowing roots to breathe and absorb water at the same time. This structure supports strong, resilient plants. But in clay, the tiny mineral particles stack so tightly together that there's barely any space left for air or water to move. The soil becomes dense and compacted, almost like a solid mass. When clay gets wet, it holds onto water and becomes waterlogged. Roots can't get the oxygen they need, and they start to suffocate, leading to weak or dying plants. But when clay dries out, it turns rock hard, almost like concrete. Water can't soak in, and roots can't push through. This makes it nearly impossible for plants to access the moisture they need. This constant swing between being too wet and too dry puts plants under stress. Roots struggle to grow, and plants often end up stunted, wilted, or even dead. It's not just plants that suffer. Beneficial soil organisms like earthworms and microbes also struggle to survive in dense, compacted clay. Without them, the soil loses its natural vitality. Improving clay soil isn't just about helping your plants grow better. It's about creating a healthy, thriving underground ecosystem that supports all life in your garden. So how do we help our soil, and everything living in it, thrive, even in the face of tough Arizona clay? Let's find out. End scene. The secret to fixing clay? Organic matter. Organic matter, like leaves, grass clippings, and compost, transforms clay soil. As it breaks down, it forms humus, which helps clay particles clump into larger, crumbly aggregates. This creates air pockets and improves drainage. Organic matter also feeds plants and soil organisms, releasing nutrients slowly. Earthworms and microbes thrive, further improving soil structure. Use a mix shredded leaves, untreated grass clippings, aged manure, wood chips, straw, even shredded cardboard. Variety brings more nutrients and benefits. Organic matter is your soil's best friend. Add it generously. End scene. Compost is the superstar of organic matter. Composting recycles kitchen scraps and yard waste into rich, valuable soil amendment. Layer greens, like veggie scraps, and browns, like dry leaves, in a pile or bin. Keep it moist and turn it regularly for oxygen. When ready, compost is dark, crumbly, and smells earthy. Spread a thick layer over your garden and mix it into the topsoil. Compost improves structure, drainage, and adds beneficial microbes. It's the ultimate boost for Arizona clay. Compost turns waste into garden gold. Don't skip it. End scene. Sometimes clay needs a jumpstart. Aeration, using a digging fork to loosen soil, lets air, water, and amendments in. Avoid rototillers. They can make compaction worse. Gypsum, a mineral, helps clay particles clump together, improving structure and drainage. It's not a fertilizer, but a helpful conditioner, especially when used with organic matter. Sprinkle gypsum after aerating, then add compost and mix into the topsoil. Aeration and gypsum set the stage for lasting soil improvement. End scene. Ready to transform your clay? Here's your action plan. Mark out your garden area. Start small. Clear weeds and grass. Aerate with a digging fork, loosening the top 8-12 inches. Sprinkle gypsum if you're using it. Add a thick layer, 4-6 inches of organic matter. Compost and leaves work great. Gently mix amendments into the topsoil. Rake the surface smooth. Cover with 2-3 inches of mulch to protect and feed the soil. This process sets you up for a successful growing season. Follow these steps and you'll be amazed at the transformation. End scene. Now for the fun part, choosing what to grow. Start with plants that thrive in Arizona and tolerate clay squash, beans, peas, Swiss chard, and kale. Sunflowers, zinnias, cosmos, and marigolds are tough, beautiful flowers. Native wildflowers attract pollinators and thrive with little effort. Mediterranean herbs like rosemary and thyme love sunny, well-drained soil. Pomegranate and fig trees can handle heavier soils once established. Choose plants suited to your climate and soil for the best results. The right plants make your garden flourish from the start. End scene. Look at what you've accomplished. You've learned to see clay soil as a foundation, not a barrier. By adding organic matter and compost, you're building healthier soil every season. Your efforts conserve water, reduce waste, and create a thriving ecosystem. Gardening connects you to nature and lets you shape your own piece of the earth. Don't be intimidated. See your yard as a blank canvas. Grab a fork, start a compost pile, and get your hands dirty. Your green thumb grows with every shovelful of compost. Now go out there and get growing. End scene.